All right.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear us? Can you see us in chat? Let us know if we're live. I see lots of people here.
All right.
How's everybody doing? Awesome. It's Alicia from Atlanta. Ooh.
Actually, yeah,
Oh,
drop a note with where you're joining us from as well. Like, always super interesting to see.
oh yeah. David from Mexico. Nice. Yes, everybody can hear us. Awesome. Cool.
All right. So we have enough people joining to get started. So we are live, and we are Lovable, or at least the team of Lovable. And what we want to do is we want to make it easier for anyone to transform their ideas into working software. So instead of having to hire developers, you can simply describe what you want to build, and what you get out is a finished app or website. And I'm joined here by both Harry and Nad. Maybe we can do a quick round of intros. I'll start. My name's Christian. I'm part of the product team here at Lovable. Over to you, Nad.
Hey, I'm Nad, part of the design team at Lovable. Yeah, I'm super excited about what we're talking about today.
Hey guys, my name's Harry. Wish I was a part of the Lovable team. I always feel like I am a little bit, but I'm a consultant day by day, working for enterprise companies and building in Lovable every single day for them. So how excited to be here.
Cool.
You're part of the family as well, Harry. So you're here.
Nice. And I think we have a pretty special version of Office Hours today. The focus is going to be really, really cool. We got a lot of feedback from the session I think we did 2 weeks ago, which was more focusing on designy brand aspects of building. We're gonna continue on that theme today. But before that, I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping. So a couple of things I want to shout out. One is we launched today better debugging of network errors. So basically, before, every time you had an error related to you trying to connect your Lovable project to a third-party API, we would surface it through a pop-up, and you could attempt to try to fix it with the AI. Sometimes these errors were relevant, sometimes they weren't, but it was a sort of very hard-coded way of dealing with these sort of errors. And we've changed that. You will no longer be shown these modals or pop-ups. And instead, what we've done is we've basically feeded that context straight to Lovable, so that Lovable can sort of decide when to pay attention to these errors, decide when they're relevant and when they should be fixed, which I think will solve a lot of issues related to connecting to third-party APIs. And the information Lovable gets now about these errors is much richer. We get to know exactly the format of the response, much more details on the errors, so that will make things hopefully much more reliable. So that's one thing. The second thing is we did some updates to. We've done a lot of updates to chat mode. We've made chat mode much more powerful. For those that don't know what chat mode is, it's basically a different variant of the chat that you can enable. It's like experimental is under sort of our lab section. You can enable it by going to your account settings and then toggling it so that it's activated. And basically what it is, it's a version of the chat that will allow you to plan, brainstorm, debug, and it has a bunch of advanced functionality that the default mode doesn't have, which means it can read logs, it can, and it has access to more information and richer context. So we've been improving a lot the capabilities of chat mode, and we announced a couple of weeks back that we were starting to charge, or that each message in chat mode would cost, basically count up to your message limit. But we announced this in Discord because there were very few users using this since it was still an experimental feature. And lately, more people have been using it. It's become very powerful, very popular because it's very powerful. And a lot of you are now like a bit disgruntled by this change in pricing. However, it's a bit needed because it's as expensive as our normal edits. But what I can tell you is that we will be exploring ways to sort of optimize the costs on our side and try to make chat mode a bit more affordable. And I also want to tell you that things might change. It might be that chat mode is not the same going forward. So there might be changes, and we might be playing around with different variations of chat mode. So expect changes here, and yeah, very happy to continue also getting feedback on this, on this feature and how it's helping you guys build your projects.
Maybe
so
Christian, like one thing I
yeah.
could add on like chat modes is like something that I worry a lot about is that you have to very deliberately switch into it and then deliberately switch out of it. And I think that's kind of wrong. And like whenever we talk to users in person, some people kind of struggle with switching back out. So if anyone has used like another platform that gets this right with like something else, let us know, because we'd love to get more inspiration as well. And we're like this is genuinely like bleeding edge. We're experimenting a lot, trying to figure out the right things. So yeah, if you use something else that nails this, let us know, because we'd love to learn more as well.
Yeah. Cool. And I think with that, I will hand it over to you, Nat, and ask you, what exactly are we going to spend our hour today? What are we building and what are we focusing on?
Yeah, so very visual focused session, which should be really fun. So the major headline is that we shipped visual edits last week. So Emil can't join this evening, but the engineer who worked on this and was on one of our previous live streams has put in like an extraordinary effort to make the feature reality. And I'll quickly screen share and then show you just like a super quick tour of visual edits in case you've not seen it before. But the rest of the session will be having fun pretty much. And so like Harry's prepared a bunch of projects. We're going to jam on some things visually, some using visual edits, some using code, a bit of both. And we'll also take all of your questions. And so, you can direct us a little bit in terms of what you want us to do as well. But let me give you a very quick tour of, sorry, Harry, were you saying something?
I was just going to say, whilst Nat's doing that, guys, let us know in the chat. Put anything that you're struggling with. What do you want to learn about design, development, building in Lovable? Where do you get stuck? Where could we potentially help you in today's stream?
Cool. And yeah, just super simple tour of visual edits in case you've not seen it. So now you can click the edit button in the bottom left corner. And once you've clicked this, you can hover over and select different elements. And so you can now click text and then just edit text directly. Uses 0 AI credits. You can hover over things like buttons, and then you can change the colors of your buttons. So here we've got the Tailwind palettes here, where you can choose from these, or you can choose custom colors. You can also hover over images, where once you've selected them, you can then upload new images and then replace them. And this is the very first version of all of this. And there's actually quite a lot of things that we built and then we took them out and all the rest. And we're adding to this constantly. And so a couple of examples of things that we've added in the last couple of days even are if you click on an object, you can then click up again to select the parent, which is kind of useful for navigating different sections. Other things that we've added in the last couple of days is like live previewing. So as you select different font styles, they update in real time as well. And we're shipping stuff almost daily. And so like one big ask would be try it out and let us know what you think is missing. And so gradients is a really obvious one that we've already started on. Actually, text alignment, again, we didn't ship with this, but we added it a few days ago. But just use it, try to find the limits of it, let us know what you want to see next, and we're just constantly adding to it. And one sort of final thing to mention, I guess, is whenever you have something selected, you can still talk to the AI. And so you could highlight, I don't know, for example, this button, and then, okay, this is a bad example because I need to save all of my visual changes first. But once this is saved, you could then continue to jam with the AI and continue to iterate on your app. And so, yeah, visual edits at a high level, but we'll use more of it today as well.
Awesome. And that really helps as well, right? Because like you don't want to have to keep prompting it to change individual bits of text. It's nice to have the speed to just quickly edit stuff. So it's a really useful add. Nice job. No.
Yeah. And also, maybe I didn't say, but it's also free, just to really underline that. So this is like 0 credits. It's just you editing things, and that's it. And we have 0 plans to monetize this as well. So just go crazy. Sorry, Christian.
No, so Veronica's asking, she's going to try all these new updates to visual modes, but where should they submit feedback if they have any input?
I think our Discord is good. I think also tag us on X. Also the chat in here. We'll just try to take it all in.
Cool.
Yep. I was just sharing my screen as well for the feedback part of the site. You can submit your own ideas. Maybe you need to bring it up on stage, Christian.
Yep. There we go.
Awesome, thank you. There's like group discussion here as well, and you guys can submit your ideas and kind of see what the team are working on, roadmap, etc. And then we're all in Discord as well. Cool. Should we jump into building some stuff? What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Cool. So guys, I think something that could be fun for us to start with is just having a playing around with effects. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen that I posted this little hero with some cool paper planes. So I thought it'd be fun for us to try and make something like this first. My question to you, chat, is what should be like the fake client that we're going to build this for? In my example, I've got like an AI company, but what could we use as an example to build for here? And we'll start from a fresh project as well, so we know exactly what we can start from scratch, and you can follow the prompts. But I'm interested, what does chat think we should build? Who should we build this for? An investment company, maybe? A startup? Let me know. Let me know. And if nobody says anything, I'm going with an AI example. So this is your last chance to direct this session. A travel agency. Look at that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, I like the rubber duck manufacturing company as well. That's cool.
Coffee company.
It's a coffee company. Okay, maybe I jumped too quick on picking the first one I saw come through. This looks fun. Why
I kind of like the
Nah,
travel agency idea,
Chris,
to be honest.
do you like the travel agency? Cool. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, cool. So here's a prompt I prepared earlier, and it's a blank project with a hero for A, and we'll change this to travel agency. And we're just going to say Crow optimize the hero. What does Crow mean? It's conversion rate optimization. It's a technique that web designers and designers use to increase conversion. You can ask Lovable at any point when building your project to Crow optimize a section, and it will kind of take all of those things that it knows, like how to name buttons specifically, how to write the copy, etc., and optimize for conversion rate. In this case, we're just going to start this simple project. And we're going to start with our travel agency.
And just whilst that loading, it's kind of a question about like Google search indexing. Actually, Christian, do you know the answer to this question? Because I'm not sure. Actually, I'd need to check.
Yeah, good question. I'm not an SEO expert, but I would assume by default, any Lovable website will be indexed at some point. I think we haven't optimized for this, and I know there's some discussions in the team around making this be like optimizing basically any Lovable website to be very SEO friendly. But I think by default, yes, your creation will be eventually indexed by Google.
Cool. And I'm actually just publishing something in the background to just double check if, just to make sure that we're not like blocking anything, or that we make everything like readily available.
Awesome. Okay, let's see how Lovable did here. I'm sure it killed it. Look at that. Hey, that's pretty good, actually. Wow, nice job. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know. Like, I'm curious to ask the chat. Actually, we haven't changed the base model that is creating these initial generations, but I feel like it's gotten better in the last like 2 weeks, and unless Anthropic is sort of like doing like just shipping improvements to the live API. It's incredible. It seems like just generation just looks so much more sharp.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I'm going to keep repping on this then. basically I've got some stuff that I've pre-prompted, but I'll run you through what I've got. So I like this layout that it's done, and the UI as well. It looks cool. I want to remove this background image, and I want to add a more interactive background for users to create like a memorable experience when they go to the site. I say here, let's add some smoke to the background of the hero using P5.js. So this is a library that Lovable understands and has knowledge on, and it's basically a really cool way to create practical effects. When the mouse hovers over the smoke, it should run away from the mouse. And then I also want to make sure that the smoke is chromatic colors as well. If you don't know what chromatic is, it's like a cool variation of colors that all work cohesively together. It's a nice little hack to get like some colors working out of the box without having to go and like fiddle in Photoshop or Figma or other tools to find out your colors for this.
I'm kind of sad you're going to get rid of this background, but I trust that you're going to do something even better.
I'm thinking raining palm trees or something like that at the moment. I don't know if there's any cool practical effects we could add to for like the language of a travel agency brand.
And I feel like the palm tree idea is cool.
Nice. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. So we'll add a smoke pattern. Let's see if this loads in.
So maybe while that loads, Nad, there's a question here by Veronica. I think they're mentioning that it would be helpful to go back through chat history via search, because that's the only way I can get back on track with certain implementations. I think that's to do with like basically finding a working version. Are we doing anything here in the short term?
Yeah, we can reveal, right? Because it's like we don't care about spoilers, so we're happy to spoil. There's loads of versioning improvements coming, so very, very soon as well, actually. So we're going to add the ability for you to kind of bookmark and save individual versions, and then that way you can always go back to those bookmarked versions. And we're also going to clean up the UI quite a lot to just make things a lot simpler, so you can just easily browse all of your old versions and see which ones are bookmarked and stuff like that. So improvements in the pipeline coming very, very soon.
Awesome. I've got this cool comment that Tom Williams has just dropped. Nice ad. Why don't we do some raining flags from around the world? That's a great shout. Let me see if I can get this to render first.
It's the demo gods, Harry.
Yeah, no worries though. This is all part of building in Lovable. It's step by step and small changes. You can see how it'd be quite tempting to just put in a huge prompt and try to get it to fix something, but it really is like these minuscule prompts and giving it context as to what's not working. So if you guys ever get stuck with stuff as well, this is a great methodology you can follow, where you just focus on giving it the info it needs to try and fix the bug. And yeah, as Chris has said, I've been trolled because this is happening in our live stream, but we will slowly work our way through it.
Are you a user of chat mode, Harry, or are you more of a default kind of person?
Yeah, I think what's cool about chat mode is that it scans your code base. So if you are stuck with a bug, like I am right now saying that, maybe it's worth here just switching to chat mode and just saying like, I just see black in the hero and the smoke effect isn't working. Can you find out why and fix? And in this case, Lovable will do a little bit more heavy lifting here and kind of scan the code, scan the setup that we have, and figure out a plan to check that. So let's have a look.
Cool.
And it found the issue, which is cool.
Yeah, maybe while that loads, I'll just maybe answer this question by Tom. Tom is asking, any plans to add docs in the app for reference, similar to how Cursor does it? Yes, we know this is a killer feature, being able to reference a website with documentation for specific maybe third-party integration or API or library that you might be you might want to use in your project, and we are thinking about this, and it's probably something we want to solve eventually. But there's no defined timeline for this yet. But it's definitely something we want to do, improving and making it easier for you guys to add the right context for Lovable to be more successful. And I think Cursor does a pretty elegant take.
This is a great one from Alexander. Maybe the AI is nervous because everybody's watching. Tell it to relax and breathe a bit before creating the particles. That's a great point. That is a great point.
I actually like when things go wrong. Like I do quite a lot of cooking, and I watch a lot of cooking videos, and like I learn so much more from when like the chef's like, oh no, my sauce is split, or I've burned this and I need to like do something to counteract it. And like that's where you really learn, rather than just like, oh, look at everything working. So I'm into this.
Okay, so this is what do you do now, Harry, when this happens? I normally do try something which is like re-implement. I think that's a word that has worked for me. Like re-implement entire what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it.
Re-implement the entire P5.js and Hero to make sure that this works, and I'll put good luck at the end. Let's give it a little spurring on.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe a question while that loads, maybe to you, Nad. I don't know if you're thinking about this, but are we ever going to have a way for users to track, I guess, number of users and visitors to the projects that people launch?
Yeah, like I think this would be awesome. I guess what I haven't figured out, and Christian, we haven't really spoken about it in detail as well, is like how integrated this should be in terms of like, is there something that's really simple that we could just enable and then it's like one click and then you go to look at another tab, or is this something that we need to build as a core part of Lovable? Like I've used Plausible recently, and I quite liked that as like a nice simple analytics solution. But I don't know if you used anything else, or in chat if anyone has anything else to recommend, where if there could be something really great that we just make it really easy to add.
Yeah. And then I have another question here, which I think is quite an important question to answer. So Ponas is asking, will Supabase be bookmarked as well? I think this is making reference to the stuff we discussed with versioning. Can we go back to the last working state of the database? So this is a very good question. And the reality is that we don't support this today. So our versioning is mostly tied to the front end, as well as the Supabase edge functions that you might have written through Lovable. But database changes that you might have done through migrations won't be tied to different versions. And this is a huge gap in our product that we're thinking about and trying to find a long-term solution to this, since this is probably causing quite a few issues for people that are going to a previous version of their app after having done substantial changes to a database. So very important problem we're looking into fixing soon.
I'm going to try a little bit more on this, and if not, I'm going to throw it up to another project, I think. Let's see if we can get this working there.
So here there's a user, I think Chris is saying that they're using Plausible.
If by chance anyone from Plausible watches this or hears of this, reach out to us as well, because we can just chat and make this happen. Cool. Sorry, Harry.
Harry.
I ruined your moment. This looks awesome.
We did it. Plausible, you now have a reason to chat to Nad. We did it, and we got through. So that was a very painful demonstration of how to get through a bug. Just don't give up and give as much context as possible. And also, the thing that I noticed when the code was editing here is that potentially there was a black background that was, never like causing it not to work. So ensure we were drawing and rendering correctly for the BG of the hero seemed to be the key prompt to get through that. I really like that flag idea. So I'm going to say, make the smoke particles smaller, and instead they should be emojis of different flags. Let's see if we can get that working.
This might be very tricky. Let's see.
I like the idea of it. Let's go. Do you guys get any sleep? Says Bino. I think. I won't tell them that Chris just had a coffee. Chris just had a coffee, so he's got the energy right now.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to assume that that's a charitable compliment of all the fun stuff that we've been building, rather than a comment on how we look. Is how I'm going to take it.
Yeah. Cool. I'm seeing some questions around being stuck on bugs. Oh, that looks impressive already. Wow. I'm watching the live stream preview and that's come through, but that's cool. I really like this. Okay, I want to add some physics because I think it's always fun when people can interact with these backgrounds. So if I mouse over any of the flags, they should gently move away from my mouse. Quite cool that this has like a blurred glass effect as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that adds some nice overlap with these background elements.
Harry, by the way, I don't know exactly, but I think maybe if you're using like a multi-monitor setting, I think maybe your preview is like lower frame rate or something, because your GPU might be throttling or slightly if you're not clicked into the preview specifically. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the animations have a bit of a lag.
Well, I'm going to confirm to you guys, running smoothly over here. So not too much of a problem. I just lost my project there, which is great. So let's see if we can get back in. Tom, yes, you can take credit for the flags looking great. Absolutely.
Harry, where did you learn
nice.
how to use P5.js? Is that just looking up the docs?
I learned how to use it using Lovable. So what's cool about Lovable and the integrations that it has is the guys actually teach the AI how to use these integrations and like what proper documentation is and stuff. So I don't actually need to learn anything about like rendering or drawing sprites or all of that crap. Like I just tell Lovable what I have, the little ideas. I think the key here, and I was with a student yesterday, is like small step by step. I'm not trying to do loads of things at once here. I'm just trying to do like things individually and then let Lovable do the heavy lifting here. But I wish I could tell you I was an amazing programmer and I know how to put P5.js together from scratch, but I'm lazy and I just let Lovable do it. Okay, this is cool. So you can see here that the mouse is kind of affecting these flags in their movement, which is really cool. I think the final thing I want to do maybe to improve the design is I really like the overlap of the icons. I'm going to use the new edit select thing here. So we'll select this. I'm going to ask Lovable to modify it. So I'm going to say, can we give this UI the same glassy background as the pill above which the over 1,000 destinations?
And by the way, if you go to docs.lovable.dev, there's an integrations page that has a list of all of the integrations that we've kind of optimized Lovable for. And so if you just didn't even know that p5.js existed, it's a great place to learn about like all of the other integrations that we support. And more often than not, Lovable will still work with things that maybe aren't there. It's just more so that we haven't tuned it and we can't really make any guarantees about how well it might work.
Exactly. You can always feed documentation. If Lovable doesn't know, just feed it into the chat and get it to work with it. I'm going to use the new edit tool to change this to a rose. Nice. Maybe I'll just change. I wonder if I can change these icons as well if we click the SVG.
I don't think we support SVG tinting yet. So I'd be surprised if this works, but I would love to be wrong.
That's okay. We'll just prompt it here. That's fine. But this is pretty cool. I think there's one more effect I want to add to this, and then we can move forward. Chat, what should I build next? Do we carry on playing with this, or do you want to add another section to the site and build out some more sections for this landing page? Where do you guys want to take it? We've had some great ideas so far. Some great ideas still coming up as well.
Okay, that sounds insane.
Double in size for flags. Let's do that. I'm going to do 2 features here because Lovable's kind of good at doing 2 things at once, just not too many after that. So 1, let's make the flags a bit bigger. 2, when I click, I want to spawn a flag bomb that shoots out some flags from that location. And then I want to take into consideration performance. We might need to optimize the amount of flags on screen and fade in / out as necessary. This is just like a precaution. It's something that I've learned from using P5JS over the last couple of days. I try and share as much of that as I can on Twitter. But basically, like, you know, with these applications, sometimes you've got to think about the end user, and like potentially we could blow somebody's computer up if we have too many flags on the screen. So it's kind of good to catch those catch-22s here.
And by the way, I just saw somebody ask in chat about whether Lovable can help with accessibility, and the answer is yes. You can literally ask, like, "Hey, make sure that I'm like, I don't know, WCAG, which is one of the like accessibility standards for the web." You can say like, "Hey, just double check or adjust things to be WCAG compliant." It does a really, really good job of going through and changing stuff on the visible stuff that you can see, like contrast, but also the stuff that's harder to see, like even like screen reading tags and stuff like that. Does a really good job.
Awesome. That increase in size was a perfect suggestion. There's our little flag spawning as well. Frame rates look pretty bad. I think it's because I'm sharing my screen. So you guys are going to see a very laggy version, but that was a nice touch, making them a little bit bigger. I've seen some stuff about making some scroll sections. Maybe we could move on to the next section of this landing page. So I'm going to just say to Lovable, add another section below. This is going to be a sticky scroll section where we're going to scroll through a few locations. I want there to be a line in the middle of the section that follows the user as they scroll down. So I'm using a bit of my web dev knowledge here, which I recommend going on the w3.org if you want to learn some of the basic HTML and CSS stuff that might help you with your projects. But sticky is just another way of saying, like, I want this thing when I scroll through it to stay with the user and scroll down the page. Let's see if we can get that working.
There's a comment
Lots
here.
of people saying this. Oh, go ahead.
You know, there's some comments regarding like the frustration of using messages to fix bugs. Also, with people struggling, maybe when they want to go beyond a prototype. So just to be clear, like we know these are like our main mission is to make you stay with Lovable for as long as possible and to push the limits of what our tool can do today. And we are like extremely focused on making that possible and on making sure that every edit is as successful. And we have a bunch of stuff coming up that will hopefully make our product more reliable, that we're going to ship in the next weeks. It's been a bit of a lot of focus going on in the Go migration, more like technical foundational stuff, but expect to see a lot of improvements here in the next weeks.
Nice. And it's only getting better. You guys should have seen it when it was open source a year ago. It's incredible. Look at this, what we just built. It's insane. Okay, let's keep going. This is starting to come together quite nicely already without much effort, and your guys' ideas most importantly. So change the dot to the representing country's flag when we scroll to that section, which is one of the ideas I've seen. Some cool ideas about planes as well in chat.
What is the design's like community's opinion on click jacking or scroll jacking? Sorry, is that like was that something that was in vogue and now it's becoming less popular? Or I always get a reaction when I scroll down a website that has very aggressive scroll animations and takes over my sort of expected behavior.
I'm definitely team hate on this topic. I'm like always 100% no.
It still looks cool though.
It depends where you're going and what you're trying to do. I'm from the Webflow world, so for me, oh, this is nice. For me, this is a big part of Webflow scroll jacking. If you've ever used Reloom or any of those libraries, this is cool though. Santorini's changed. A flag. How can we improve this, chat? What do you think? Do we make it a plane? Do I keep it as a flag? Do we make it bigger, smaller?
Some people are asking for images, custom images instead of the
standard ones. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm going to go to probably one of my favorite sites to do this. Here we are in Unsplash. This is a free website. You can pay for premium to get some premium images as well, but they have a lot of cool stuff. I think our first location was Paris, France. So let's show an example of how easy this would be. I'll come and find one that I like the look of. Maybe this one's quite cool, stylistic. Let's copy that image back into Lovable. I'm going to say replace Paris, France image with this one. Ian, I wish it was unlimited credits. This is all me. This is all me. Okay. Some good ideas.
Somebody here saying that scroll jacking is only acceptable for design agency sites.
Go. We started a debate now. We have started a debate.
I'm gonna clarify my stance. Actually, I actually don't mind scroll jacking as long as you respect like the natural inertia of like whatever your computer normally does. Then it's fine. But if you make things slow down a lot, where it feels like you're like swimming underwater rather than like at normal gravity or whatever, that's when I'm like team hate.
Yeah.
So this is okay.
Oh, really nice idea from Pranay here. Hope I got your name right. Click on the location image to open it like a book and show more info and book button. I'm going to copy and show how easy it is to add these kind of features. So first of all, let's just double check my Paris, France image got added, which it did. Nice. Now I'm going to copy your idea. Let's put it in chat here. So when I click on the location image, open it like a book and show more info and book button. Let's do that. Some cool ideas in chat today. You guys are killing it. There's an interesting question here, Chris, about why Lovable used React.js instead of Next.js.
Yeah. So we actually did experiment with supporting Next.js, but this was a couple months back, and the takeaways were that the models were just less proficient at building with Next.js than our current tech stack, which is a combination of Vite and normal React. And Next.js just has more constraints. They are more picky about how you set things up. And 3 months ago, it was just harder and reliability suffered. So we just decided to stick with what we have today. But something we might revisit. We're not married with the current stack, and we'll probably just want to update it as things evolve to whatever works best.
Now, this is cool. I almost want these to automatically open as I scroll into them. I think hiding them behind a click without kind of being able to see what it is here is interesting. So when I scroll into the individual locations, let's open/close automatically, like we have with the flag switching. So context and pointing to things that are working already for you are a really great way to show Lovable the direction it should go and what's working. In this case, we know that when I scroll, the flag switching works. That's a cool feature that's already functioning. So now I can kind of piggyback on that and have these open automatically as we kind of scroll through.
There's a question here on any chance you will support Cloudflare, Cloud Worker deployment in the future. To be fair, I don't even know what that is. So I thought I knew, but
I can tell you.
Okay.
So there's a really cool site at the moment built by the company called Kinsta. They're really well known in the Bay Area for WordPress hosting. If you look up Savala.com on the internet, you'll find a really great way to deploy your Lovable projects, and it has Cloudflare built in, so you can have that DDoS caching and other features built into your deployments. They're brand new, so they're giving everybody 50 credits as well. So this is an unofficial shout out from me. But they're really easy for one-click deployments. You just click your GitHub repo where you have the Lovable project, and then you can just click deploy, and it should go out, a bit like Netlify and these other cloud hosting places as well. Okay. Here is our perfect getaway. Paris opens. Santorini opens. Look at this. Cool. Kyoto opens. Wow. Nice effect. We can go back through that as well. Love it. Okay. Savala, everyone. Savala. Let me put it in the chat for you. Savala. Okay.
Harry, just aware of the time, is there like, are there any other sort of angles that you want to jam on in terms of like, did you want to kind of try and take this project somewhere else, or did you have any other projects that would be fun to start from, or like, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe we can go to my AI example and we can try some themes. So this is one I posted on Twitter earlier today when I was exploring for this project. Here we are. Similar to what we had as a group when we were building our first one, just an AI app, but with a memorable paper plane experience. Nad, what could be a theme we could throw at Lovable to try and get it to change the style of this?
Like a visual style.
Yeah. Or a theme.
I'm obsessed with the like Neo Brutalist, but I feel like we showed that last time. But maybe are there any others that you've used recently that you've liked?
What about if we like double click on that, the Neo Brutalism, but we try and add like a retro game kind of feel to it, maybe?
Into it.
Okay, let's do it. I'd like you to restyle this application to be more fitting of a Neo Brutalist style, along with a retro game feel. This is really out there, so we might need to do some.
We're getting a lot of suggestions here in chat. Claymorphism, I don't even know what that is. Y2K?
I'm kind of into the Y2K idea as well, if we go like old school GeoCities. Like, Is there training data? Did the models know about GeoCities?
That would be cool.
I'm sure. They do.
And like old school website design. I'm sure they do.
Glass morphism.
That's a cool idea.
Well, this loads. There's an interesting question here. Maybe Nad, you have some thoughts on this one. Someone asking or explaining that they'd like to grab some elements and just move them around without using AI.
Yeah, so it's something we're thinking about with visual edits. Like we didn't ship with kind of more like drag and drop things for the first version. So if other people want this as well, let us know in the chat, and then we can kind of mentally add +1s to this on our kind of internal roadmap, and let us know on feedback.lovable.dev as well, because we'll look there as like the other data point. So yeah, it seems obvious that we should have this. We just haven't got there yet, and we need to kind of prioritize. So let us know if other people want it as well.
So I think Lovable here took a bit of a shortcut and replaced some of the existing core functionality.
It's not bad, the style.
Not bad though. No?
And considering we wanted like a retro kind of neo-brutalist look to come together. Just like with these things, you have to be careful, right? Like when we build apps and we do these big changes, you have to expect that the AI might cut stuff out, and you need to, with a magnifying glass, go over your app and just make sure everything is coming together. Yeah, everybody's loving the idea of drag and drop in the chat by the looks of things. I will kill my Wix subscription, says Rishi, if we get it.
Okay, that
Lots
sounds
of
like a
love.
resounding yes. All right, so we'll move from good idea to like something we'll do, and then figure out with what kind of timeline we can do this.
My planes are removed, so I'm going to get my planes added.
Cool. And maybe maybe next, for the next thing you test, Harry, I know you have done this in previous projects, but I think Talisha had an interesting question here on how to maybe import things you might find in other websites. There's this very trendy website now called 21st Dev that I think has a lot of interesting components.
Absolutely. Let's go have a look at 21st Dev whilst we wait for this prompt to run. We can see if we can grab something here. Cool. Here I am on 21st Dev. If you haven't used it before, it's like a collection of multiple assets that you can use from around the world. Here's a cool globe we used in the last live stream when the guys were trolling me there. It was looking too corporate. Here is a cool button. So I'm going to try and take this and see if we can get it. What's cool about 21st Dev is not only can you do the standard things of like copying the code or installing it, but they have this copy prompt thing. And you can see here there's a bunch of options. I'm also going to do Lovable here. We can click copy AI prompt, and let's see if we can get this button working. Oh, and here are all my planes as well, back in their former glory. Awesome. It even matched the colors, which I'm really impressed with. So that's cool. Let's add the button. So basically, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say replace the get started button with this new one. And then I'll paste that prompt, that copy from 21st Dev. You see here that it puts a load of stuff in here for you, all the code that you need. But also it's got some other stuff baked in, like making sure that the AI implements this properly, like copy and paste this component to the correct folder, and then making sure that you create all the files in full. So we'll put that in and see if we can get that working.
Just while that's processing, just on Ben's question here about like, can you import sketches in a rough form? This works so well. So we already support this. So just upload your sketches as like an image in chat, and then just reference it in the message that you send. And so this works really well for like initial generation when you're starting a new project and you're setting that first prompt. Also works really well for like sending messages within a project, an existing project, and saying like, hey, make it look more like this. But yeah, I sometimes draw things on paper and then take a photo with my phone and then send that photo, and it works surprisingly well.
Nice. I'm waiting for this this prompt to keep running.
Maybe while you wait, Harry, there's a question here. What are good ways of instructing Lovable to do animations like the ones you've been adding to in this session? Like he's asking, should we attach a GIF or a video, or what's your tips there?
I guess like really think about the motion you're trying to design. So for example, with this pulse effect that we have when the paper planes appear from my mouse, think about the motion there. So I want planes to spawn when I click, and I want them to move away from the mouse. So if you can give it like direction and like where it's going to go, again, it's here. It's just like giving it the context it needs. If you can describe as best as you can what that effect looks like, or use the AI to help you put that together, the better in this regard. I don't know if you guys have any other tips around animations as well in this case.
Yeah, I'd recommend not to upload like a reference like video or reference GIF or whatever. Like I just can't imagine that's going to go well. But one thing that could work well is there's a library called used to be called Frame Emotion. Now it's just called motion.dev. And if you go to motion.dev and browse that website, you can kind of visually browse all of the different motion effects from there. And you can just simply ask the AI for those. And so you could say like, here's a spring animation or whatever else, and it'll just use it.
You can also go to 21st Dev like we did, copy some components with motion that you like the look of, and then just remix those into your own version.
I like it. I
Get
like how
those fixed up.
there were two angles to this. Like you can be like Rick Rubin style, like express yourself and try to like emotionally describe what you want. And there's that, yeah, just go to this website and copy the code.
We're all vibe coders now. That's the new thing. Just click and prompt.
Yeah.
Say you make something unique, are you able to pull out the paper plane style and use it on other projects? That's a super good question. So something that I like doing now, or start doing, is doing these sort of smaller experiments where you spin up a new project, you build out that component you want, the login form, etc. And then you can just say to Lovable, like, hey, can you just like let me know how I would import this to another project? And usually it spits out everything that you need in order to be able to do it. We're going through some bugs at the moment, but thankfully I'm going to just click the magic try fix it button, and we'll just see if we can get out of that loop. If not, I'm going to go back and we'll see it.
So there was an interesting question here.
I feel like there's an interesting question about reasoning models as well, because I feel like reasoning models are very much of the moment. We're experimenting, I guess, is the bottom line. So we're looking at two different things, like either using some of the like reasoning models that are sort of catching more publicity because they're just awesome. But we're also looking at just adding more reasoning to what we already have, because like the current system also has full context of everything that you're doing, and so just expect more along these lines.
Awesome. And we have successfully, gentlemen, implemented our button right in time for the end of this live stream. So I wanted to just say thank you to everybody in chat for your awesome ideas. I'll try and put some of the project links on my Twitter afterwards, so you can check those out as well. And yeah, can I share the thing I was going to share quickly, guys? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So I noticed that a lot of people, including some of you watching today, are getting stuck with Lovable and potentially need some help. I'm also seeing a lot of grifters online who are charging like $300-400 for a course to be able to learn how to do this. I want to give back to the community and help you guys out. So if you go to aclasswithharry.com, I've just put up a pre-sale for a course that will be coming out next week. It's all about how to build an AI product from start to finish and launch it on Product Hunt. I did that last year with our own using Lovable, and we got top 10. So I feel like there's a lot of things to share here. And yeah, aclasswithharry.com. harry.com is the website if you want to get some more time with me, and I can help you build your things in real time as well. But yeah, thanks for having me, Nad and Chris. This has been a really fun session overall.
Yeah, it's been a fun session. Let us know if you like these sessions. Let us know if you want to see more full stack building, where we focus more on Supabase and sort of backend functionality. We'd love to get more signal to see what we focus on the next ones. We have more of these scheduled. We're going to probably do one next week and every week going forwards. So yeah, please tell us what you want to see. What else? We, as usual, we have a community at Discord. Feel free to go there. I won't have time today to spend some, like, just go immediately after this office hour session, but I'll be, I think everybody in Lovable will be trying to spend a bit more time there. So it's a great place to drop your feedback. And lovable.dev/support is where you can go to basically get links to our docs, also to Discord if you don't know how to access that directly. I think that's a wrap. Anything I'm forgetting, guys?
Some people are just asking for the URL again. I put it in the YouTube chat, but it's a classwithharry.com.
Cool. All right.
More people are saying, more, Chris. They want more. Awesome.
Awesome. Great session. See you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Super fun. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.